Hey, whippersnappers, this is Tortoise with Gray. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Gray Version Season 3. We are picking up this week with our Little Cup gym number 1, and we are doing the fighting type. Obviously, as with always, the themes are always kind of just themes. Obviously, when we're doing a gym, we want to have more or less monotype teams, but as we can see, especially here on Flygon's team, he had a Chimchar, and Chimchars are not fighting types, but they do evolve into a fighting type, so totally legal. And we also made some other exceptions for things that thematically would work within a gym. So we'll see some fun team build-outs here today, and we are going up against Nice Foo, the shiny Mindfu, setting up there. Flygon was doing a special attacking Mindfu, which was an unusual build there. Coda comes in, throws up the Hurricane, gonna finish off the Mindfu. Most of my team is the same as you guys saw it last week. We still had Glinda and Charlotte and Kahar and Oleander, with the addition this week of Coda the Noibat, because you can get Noibats pretty early on in the wild area in Sword and Shield. We had a couple of those in our Brolock that we did with Kuya, and so I was like, well, that could be a fun Pokemon. And then we also had the Litwick, Zippo. I'm like, wait, what did I name this one? Because it wasn't Lumiere, which is my usual Litwick name. And so yeah, a couple of different teammates, but for the most part, the team remained the same. Oleander putting in a lot of work this week. We'll see Oleander used to great effect against a number of you guys. Oleander going to go down to the Metatite, however. Kahar coming in then, going to take a Psycho Cut and go down. That Metatite faster than Kahar, which is unusual. Because Kahar's pretty fast. But yeah, so Flygon, our first battle of the week, takes victory. As I said last time, I believe, unless it's a week like this where I need to designate somebody as the gym leader or the evil team admin or something. Those are really the only 2 weeks that we'll probably be messing around. But otherwise, for the most part, battles are going to come in in the order that they came in. I'm not going to be doing any preferential ordering or anything like that. So Flygon was my first battle of the week, and start off 0-1. I took a loss in my first battle. So thank you so much, Flygon, and thanks for being such a great fighting type gym trainer. Alrighty, guys, let's move on to the next one. Here we go. Alrighty, and back with battle number 2 up against gym trainer Klungar. Klungar leads off with his Onix. It seems like going the Bruno route there. Onix counting as a fire-type Pokemon. Down goes Charlotte. Charlotte able to get the webs up at least, which will prove to be helpful, but those rocks are going to be difficult to deal with, and the Galarian Farfetch'd goes down to Glinda. Our Psychic type started doing some work this week, but still probably a bit of a weak link. Not as weak as in weeks past, but I decided not to change the build. I was this close to throwing Dazzling Gleam on it, but the presence of Scraggy on most teams. Klungar also added a Pawniard in here, but the presence of Scraggy, because I didn't put Dazzling Gleam and I only had Psychic and Mystical Fire still as attacking moves on Glinda, really did do some damage to her capability, because everybody just had the Scraggy switch if I went to go use Psychic. Oleander going down, Zippo coming in, taking that Sucker Punch, gonna go down. Wasn't prepped for the Dark Steel type in the Fighting type gym. But sure, thematically we'll call it legal, Klungar. No, yeah, so starting 0-2 this week, Flygon and Klungar not giving me much faith in my hurriedly thrown together, no testing at all team. I was like, it'll be fine, and came in with a couple of hard losses. So thank you so much for participating this week, Klungar. I greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, up against gym trainer Scad, and Scad leads off with Bonnie, who sets up the Dragon Dance and throws up the Outrage. Charlotte hangs on with the Focus Sash there, able to get webs up and then throw up an Icy Wind, which does decent damage, enough to activate the Berry Juice. Bonnie then confused, but it doesn't really matter because Coda comes in and throws up the Draco Meteor, finishing off the little dude. Then Oleander comes in to go up against the Rock Ground type. I'm able to get the Sleep Powder up, which puts the little Tyrant, that's the, oh no, Larvitar, yeah, Larvitar. Oh no, we're losing track of the battle. I'm trying to remember Pokemon names I should know. Oleander in up against the Stuffle, able to do good work up against the Ice Punch, hanging in there against the super effective move, and able to take down the Stuffle. Oleander really did some good stalling out on the teams here. Some of you guys just could not get through her this week, which, I mean, the poison typing, not really all that surprising. She is a bulkier build, but yeah, the strength sap, we used it pretty well last week as well, but then definitely was helpful here. So many fighting types are physical attackers that, well, pretty much all of them are, where, you know, getting that attack lower plus the webs plus it just was kind of like this thing was like, oh man, the Oleander did work. And Oleander was even the when I was building that first root team for last week, was even the weaker option. I almost put Fungus on the team, and I was like, Fungus may be a bit much. And then I decided to go with Oddish, and man, I don't regret that one bit. Oddish did great work for us here. Scad is got Scraggy going right down, and then Shifu coming in and going down up against Kahar as well. So I got pretty lucky that, because I don't like to from week to week, unless we're like switching tiers. But even when we're switching tiers, like I've already started building my team for next week a little. Just a tiny bit, because I don't really know what the theme is going to be yet. But I started building that team just a little bit, and so like I've already got like some of these the Pokemon on my team are just going to be existing Pokemon, but evolved or something. But I don't like to switch my teams up too much, so I kind of got lucky that the team that I put together for last week just happened to also be largely useful for this week. I mean, because we had Kahar, who was great for this week. Oddish, who ended up being great for this week. Our starter was a Psychic type. Charlotte was a Bug type, which resists the fighting, I think. So we really didn't have to shake up too many things, because I don't really like to do that. And so with a few minor tweaks, we managed to make a pretty passable team, and we get our first victory for the week. Thank you so much, Scad. I greatly appreciate it. Let's move into the next one, see what the next gym trainer has in store. Alrighty, and we come up against Gym Trainer Codeman with his trademark small teams. Belts comes in, the Scraggy takes down Charlotte, and then is going to go down to Coda, not getting to take advantage of its Moxie Boost. Clobber, the Shiny Stuffle, one of my favorite Shinies in the game. Fantastic to see Shiny Stuffle in there. Glinda comes in and tanks the facades. Clobber doesn't have the status ability that would really boost the facade going there. Glinda able to tank that and take it down. Then Plunder comes in. Codeman, I don't know if he exclusively used Clobbopus for this, but I said it in the Discord. Somebody has to use Clobbopus because I want to use it in the thumbnail, and I still haven't decided if I'm going to, because we had a lot more Galarian Farfetches than we had Clobbopuses, so there's a possibility that the thumbnail will be a Galarian Farfetch. I've got both of them made, and so I'll decide in the moment which one I want to use. But Codeman, thank you so much for adding some variety. Variety is the spice of life. Always comes in with these smaller teams, and makes the variety of the episode that much greater. So thank you so much, Codeman, for one, using a Clobbopus, so I could potentially use that as the thumbnail, and two, for just coming in with some variety. I greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty, up against Gym Trainer Just Me, though. Leading off with the Croagunk. Charlotte hangs on with the Focus Sash, gets poisoned, and able to throw up the Surf before the poison takes it down. Our webs are up, so that'll be useful at least for a little bit. Scraggy comes in, and the speed gonna get lowered. Kahar uses the U-turn to get on out. Bring in Oleander into the Thunder Punch, which seems like it was a pretty good idea, although we do get the paralysis on Oleander, which may be a bit of a challenge in her capability going forward. The webs get taken out by the Defog from the Timber, and then Oleander gonna take a fake out from the Mind Food. The Defog from the Timber actually reminds me, I think it was Flygon, had a Tyrogue, which knew Rapid Spin, which I'm assuming is a carryover from Hitmontop or something. But I did not see that coming. And I think he's the only one who had a rapid spinning Tyrogue. Maybe because Tyrogue is just terrible in general. But hey, if you get a spinner, you get a spinner. So, but there we go. I think this Timber was the only other one so far who has gone through the trouble of taking out some hazards. The Mind Fu doing a good knockoff on Zippo there. Zippo trying to get the Will-O-Wisp up, not able to. The U-turn out, it's a bit surprising. Go for the Pain Split. Far-fetched, a little damage, so not going to be enough to really heal Zippo up to any useful range. And then the Coda going to take a knockoff, land the Hurricane, thankfully, and finish off the Galarian Farfetch'd. Mind Fu still full health, must be Regenerator. Switches back in, gets the knockoff going. I threw up the Mystical Fire. Again, I'm afraid to use Psychic. I could have used Psychic because obviously I don't think anybody actually did the switching. But that Scraggy always in the background. I'm afraid to use Psychic thinking that, oh, you're going to get a free switch in. But then doesn't end up being the problem. Khar comes in and finishes off the Scraggy and grants us victory. So, thank you so much for the great battle. Just me, though. I greatly appreciate it. Nice when there's battles where they're close, good battles, but that I still win. Those are my favorite. So I greatly appreciate your participation this week, Just Me, though. And let's see what there is in store for us the rest of the gym here. Here we go. Alrighty guys, here we are up against Gym Trainer Update as his Grogunk throws up the Nasty Plot and the Sludge Wave. Charlotte hangs on with the Focus Sash and throws up the Surf. Unfortunately, we're up against Dry Skin, which I thought would potentially be an issue in the Grogunk we battled earlier in this episode. And when it wasn't, then I was like, oh, okay. And so I didn't even think about it for this one. But yeah, Farfetch'd switches in, gets Sleep Powdered. Khar gonna get the free switch in on the Sleeping Farfetch'd and finish it off. At which point Timber's gonna come in. I switch out expecting the Rock Slide, and Zippo's gonna take that pretty well. Going to be able to survive the knockoffs and get the Will-O-Wisp up before going down. I don't know. I don't think, based on the low damage that like this knockoff and stuff did, that Timber had Guts. I think that is a possible ability for this one, but I don't remember. Glinda throws up the Rest and going to heal off the damage, waiting out the burn. At which point the Riolu is going to switch in and throw up the Swords Dance, setting up a little bit. Gonna take a hard Psychic, but gonna survive and have enough of a boost to finish off the bulky Glinda. Khar then switching in. Riolu going to throw up to Protect, but Khar is too fast and they'll be able to finish off on the next turn. At which point Mackenzie comes in, gets its Eviolite knocked off. Revenge going to do good damage to Khar, and Sucker Punch going to finish it out. Coda then switches in, misses on the Hurricane. Going to take a Revenge from the Clobbopus and another Sucker Punch, but that time not going to be enough. Coda has a little more defenses than Khar and going to be able to survive that. Go down to the Life Orb damage though, and Oleander then going to switch in, put the Sleep up on the Pancham, use the Strength Sap to get healed up and lower the attack of the Pancham. Oleander bulky and the lowered attack are going to help a lot. And then we just chip away with Sludge Bomb here. Drain Punch, us being a poison type, not going to do enough for the Pancham. Doesn't seem to have a berry juice or anything. So we are going to eventually here whittle it down and finish off Gym Trainer Update. So thank you so much for participating in this week update. I greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the next one, shall we? Here we go. Alrighty guys, battle up against Gym Trainer's Shunosaurus begins. The Mind Fu switches out. I switched into Zippo expecting the fake out for the Mind Fu, but that did not come. Coda switches in and going to use the Hurricane off on the Kerballer going down. Charlotte switches in. I had Coda in. I was expecting... I was 3 steps ahead of Shunosaurus. I was expecting the electric attack because it was flying and it's an electric type, and then I'm like, wait. If I switch into Oleander, it's going to have Ice Punch, and so Ice Punch is 4 times effective against Coda, so then I brought in Zippo. Zippo goes down to Curiosity, the Curious George here, the Chimchar. Chimchar goes down to Coda's Draco Meteor, and then Gigawatt comes back in, throws up the Psychic, and finishes off Coda. Glinda then switches in. The Volt Switch is going to do really good damage up against Gigawatt. Gigawatt going to switch out, and Rash going to take the Psychic, taking it down. Scraggy finishes off Glinda, gets the Moxie boost. Khar going to switch in and throw up the Air Slash. Unfortunately, oh, right! I was going to say, unfortunately, it doesn't finish off, but we get the Flinch, and then Khar is 19 speed, so able to outspeed the Scraggy. Elekid speed ties with us, though, and finishes off Khar, leaving just Oleander versus the Elekid and the Mind Fu. We get the Sleep Powder up on the Mienfoo, and it's going to go to sleep. We use the Strength Sap to heal up, as we tend to do, and get the lowered attack there. That's going to help our bulky Oddish to withstand a little longer. We finish off Pockets with the a Sludge Bomb, but then Elekid switches in with that Psychic that it displayed earlier and easily finishes off the Oddish. So Shunosaurus claiming victory here in his as Gym Trainer battle, and we've got one more Gym Trainer before we jump into the Gym Leader, so let's head on over to that. Alrighty, and our last Gym Trainer battle for the week is going to be up against Espresso Cat. E-Cat brings Ming in after the Clobbopus switches out. Charlotte gets the webs up and is able to take down the Pancham with the Surfs, at which point I decide to switch into Coda. Coda uses that Hurricane, which is going to miss. Clobbopus getting some hard liquidations up there, but it's neither stab nor super effective, so not doing quite enough for him. The Hurricane finally connects, and the Clobbopus goes down, and one more Hurricane for Coda is going to be enough to finish off E-Cat's little team. So thank you so much, E-Cat, for getting in here, even if it was just under the wire. We had a couple of these last 3 battles, all were like Friday and Saturday of this week. So episode's going up tomorrow, I guess, on Sunday sub day, which is I guess when this episode used to air back in the day. But yeah, so thank you to all of our gym trainers who have battled this week. I greatly appreciate it. Let's jump into the gym leader battle and then figure out what we're doing next week. Alright guys, here we go. Alrighty guys, and here we are up against Gym Leader Mac, and Mac leads off with the Metatite, who throws up that Thunder Punch on Charlotte. Focus Sash keeping Charlotte alive just long enough to get the webs up there. Coda then switches in and throws up the Hurricane, taking out the Metatite. And then Craball are going to switch in, get that speed lower. I sweat up the Tailwind with Coda, but then Coda's going to go down to a hard Ice Punch. Glinda switches in and gets the Psychic going, and able to take down the Crabrawler after taking a Crab Hammer there. Scraggy comes in with the Intimidate, not too afraid of that, but don't want to leave Glinda in for the knockoffs there, so Oleander comes in. Oleander going to throw up the Strength Sap and get healed back up and lower the attack of the Mind Fu there. That Fake Out doing decent damage now that our Eviolite is gone. U-turning back out, again, decent damage on Oleander. Oleander going to throw up the Sleep out of here, get the Krogunk fast asleep, and get the Strength Sap going to get our health back up. Strength Sap is a great move. Glinda then going to come in as the Krogunk sets up the nasty plot. The speed differential allows us to get the Psychic up first and take down the Krogunk. Glinda switching out in face of the Scraggy. Scraggy getting another knockoff off on Oleander, but Oleander's going to get that Strength Sap up and get healed back up. Then Farfetch'd comes in. We're going to throw up the Sludge Bomb and take a hard Brave Bird and go down. At which point then Zippo the Litwick comes in, takes a Brave Bird, but gets the Flame Body Burn up, so that was a nice little choice there, although the Flamethrower then going to take it down before it gets another move off anyway. Intimidate, again, a lot of special attackers on my team this week, so the Intimidate not doing much for people, but Zippo then going down to the knockoff from the Scraggy. Again, we got Mindfu and Scraggy left here at the end. This is like the 3rd or 4th battle that's happened. Kahar comes in and able to finish off the burned Scraggy. And then the Mindfu going to come in, get the speed lower, and get that Fake Out up, which does good damage to Kahar. And then Kahar able to get the Air Slash up and finish off the Mindfu. So thank you guys so much for all of your amazing battles this week. I had a really tough time picking who the gym leader was going to be. There was 3 or 4 battles that I was like really trying to determine, okay, who should it go to? And you know, Mac won out here, but so many good battles I could have chosen from, and so many of you guys who came out and just kicked my butt too. So, you know, a little bit of a variety for everybody. So thank you guys so much for participating this week. Your participation is what makes this channel, or well, this channel, but especially this series, keep going. Without you guys, it would literally be nothing. So I greatly appreciate that. But yeah, so let's figure out what we are going to be doing next week as we jump on over to the spreadsheet. Thanks again to everybody who participated, and especially thanks again to our gym leader, Mac. Alrighty guys, here we go. Alright guys, so here we are on the spreadsheet. You'll see here that Fighting type has been grayed out, as has Little Cup. With the completion of this gym, we are sadly leaving the Little Cup tier behind us and moving into the tier of ZU, which is brand new since the last time I did anything Showdown related. It basically consists of the absolute worst bottom-of-the-barrel garbage that literally ZU means 0 usage. Literally nobody uses these Pokemon for anything. It includes Little Cup Pokemon, not fully evolved Pokemon, and just the absolute bottom of the barrel. Things that even in the PU tier, you know, weren't seeing any usage. So we are doing a ZU battle this coming week, and we need to figure out, as I said before, or I've said a number of times, every other week from this point forward is going to be a gym battle, so we're going to kind of move along at a kind of a nice little clip. But that means that since we just did a gym battle, we now need to randomize our encounter type. So we need to go 1 through 3 and do that. And so we have another rival battle. Okay, so we're jumping in against our rival again this week. So you guys need to take your starters. If you participated in week 1, your starters should remain. That is kind of the main stipulation for rival battles, is that your starters remain. I don't really require anything beyond that. Like, if you put a Pokemon on your ZU team now, I don't require that, like, you use that Pokemon going forward, or that its evolutions show up going forward or anything like that. That would be kind of cool if you wanted to keep continuity like that, but I don't make any requirements like that. But as much as I make anything a requirement in this, I'd love to see your starters if you participated in week 1. If you didn't participate in week 1, that doesn't mean you can't join in now. As with always, anybody is welcome to jump in at any time. We've got people who participated in week 1 who didn't make it to week 2, who made it to week 3. Like, you can, once when we're on episode, 12, you can jump in for the first time if you want. It's I'm not looking to put any restrictions on that. I know that there are a couple of people who didn't make it to week 1 who were there for week 2, who will now, since we're doing a rival battle, have to pick a starter, and then they'll carry that starter if they're around for future rival weeks and stuff like that through as much as they can. So we beat Gym 1, and our rival bumps into us as we walk out the door. We're like, "Ha, you got the gym badge? I can't believe it. Let me test your strength." So we'll be jumping in with a ZU rival battle, and so looking forward to seeing what your teams are this week. That'll be exciting. I'm looking forward to that. Seeing whose starter has an evolution in ZU tier, or whichever. I'll have to double check. I don't know if mine does. I guess it's not fully evolved Pokemon, so it probably Glinda will be evolving this week, but I'll have to double check that. So thank you guys so much for watching and for participating. Again, if you want to participate, it's super easy. Links are in the description down below. We use the free online battle simulator, Pokemon Showdown, for doing all of these battles. You can go in there, build teams, and battle, all without doing any like email registering or anything like that. You just pick a name. You don't even have to pick a name. You could battle me as guest 12579. I mean, it doesn't really matter. So that's really quick and easy. You could do that on mobile or desktop, I believe. And then you have to also, there's a link in the description for my Discord, which is the only way that you can communicate to me that you would be interested in battling. Again, Discord is also a desktop application, a browser application, or a mobile application. So there's really no excuse for not being able to have access to that either. It is also free. Sign up for that. Use the link in the description to connect to my server, and then go into the Pokemon channel and just I'll be throughout the week. Hey, gray version. I'm ready for battles. Yada yada. It's real easy to do. So looking forward to that. If you guys have any questions about how to participate or anything of any sort, feel free to put those in the comments or ping me in the Discord or whatever. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I've been Tortimer the Great, and you guys have been great. Make sure those likes, comments, subscriptions for me, guys, and I'll see you guys all back out there Monday morning. We'll be starting some battles. So thank you guys so much for watching. Have a good one.